So, this is a strategic attendance planning playbook series. Many of you have received a copy of our lovely definitive guide to student attendance improvement. You probably got it in the mail. You probably got an electronic link to click on it. Probably about 5 slides in, I'm going to put a QR code. You're going to be able to scan it and be able to get the copy of the guide and the templates that we will be using. Okay. For those of you who may not know me, I'm coming to you with about 25 years of public school experience. When I'm originally from Mississippi, went to Mississippi State, got my bachelor's in special education. I was a special education teacher, behavior coordinator, dropout prevention coordinator, principal, assistant principal, director of student family services. I am so happy to say I am with Rawi as a principal consultant. I've published 3 guides, and these are just guides with strategies. As you guys know, educators don't have a lot of time, and the last thing they need is another book. If you were to read a book, hopefully during your time it will be a book for pleasure, but there are 6-page guides with just some different strategies. So my focus is chronic absenteeism, and I absolutely love working for Rawi K through 12. Just to let you know, I believe it is the premier attendance improvement platform that has helped several of our districts reduce chronic absenteeism, recoup ADA funding, regain instructional minutes. These are very important at this time. We were on a phone call with a district earlier, I think it was even yesterday, and there was a district that said, there was a kid that has been absent for 90 days, 90 straight days, and just showed up. It's a senior. And he's like, what in the world do we do? Like, we're having more and more situations like that. But of course, we also have the kids that's probably missed 9 days as opposed to 90. And then right now, money is an issue. And I feel like when we are not being intentional about the strategies and practices and policies and the planning that we do in order to increase school attendance, we're leaving money on the table. And if you were at our last Everyday Matters Summit, if you heard of Aldine ISD, there's ASA, American Association of School Administrators, they printed this article that showed how much, like millions of dollars that they were able to recoup over the years utilizing this program, and that has helped them fund other initiatives within the district. And I see there are some teachers. I see that there are some academic specialists, and every instructional minutes is key. Special education students. How are we making sure we can regain those instructional minutes? Because when kids miss instruction, they're more likely to fail STAR and get behind through literacy and math. All right, so you're like, okay, I know you're asking, what in the world did I sign up for? So this strategic attendance planning playbook series we know we're in the thick of it right now. This is the spring, and spring is springing on the home campus. Trust me, I know. And in the districts, you're probably getting calls, and kids are doing things that probably you're like, what in the world? Adults, teachers are probably, and other leaders in the district, like, what in the world is going on? But that should not stop us from taking a moment. And I appreciate you guys taking a moment today to be intentional about, okay, let's plan next year. There's that quote, what is predictable can be preventable. We know right now this spring who's chronically absent. We know the students, we know the populations, whether it's the homeless population, just so many different students and different groups that we're like, okay, we need to plan better next year so that we can make sure that our kids have better outcomes. So we all have good intentions. But in order to turn this ship around, we have over 14 million kids who are chronically across the country. It's going to take systems. It's going to take alignment. It's going to take ownership. When we have conversations with districts who are interested in our intervention management platform, I ask sometimes, who owns attendance in your district? And they're like, I've been asked to help, or I just got into this role, or, and then I ask, is it just you? Or is it just your department? And guys, now is the time to get off the island. You cannot work by yourself. So the whole purpose of today, we're going to talk about teams. How do you mobilize and organize teams? So if you're on a call, this is for district leaders, campus administrators, teams, student services professionals, educators. It is for everyone. So it is not too late for you to share this link with someone else, for them to hop on a call, so that we can build capacity in all of us in order to be able to get re-engage students and families. Attendance is crucial, not just for student outcomes, but for district or school success. I have some district people here on the line. I have some school leaders that are here on the line. So our learning target, once the teacher's always a teacher, so we're going to have a learning target. By the end of the 6 action planning sessions or workshops, you're going to develop a district specific or school specific attendance playbook to prepare for next year. For those of you who probably are just saw it and just hopped on, these are the dates and the topics for our next sessions. Depending on where you're coming to us from, we're here centrally, so this is lunchtime for us. It will be around 12, and this will be about an hour. Okay, but we're going to talk through some things, and we're going to plan through some things. Remember, I said those of you who are probably coming to the line without a definitive guide, please take a moment right now, scan this QR code. You're going to get a link to the guide. And it is so well put together, and it's such easy reading. As you can see, I love highlighting different things. And then also, you're going to also, on the same link, QR code, you're going to get access to our templates. So we're going to work through about maybe 3 templates today. But again, I'll be monitoring the chat. I don't want anyone to feel like they're being left behind, okay? Our first session is organizing and mobilizing your team. Okay, so let me get my cursor back in here. And we're going to have a clear framework on building and strengthening a high impact attendance team. Many of you have said, you know what, we don't have an attendance team, but we're utilizing a PBIS team. We're utilizing our admin team. Some people say they're even utilizing the special education team, things like that. And that's okay. It is, especially when resources are tight. However, a best practice is to have an attendance team, so you can have clear roles, responsibilities, meeting structures, okay, and keeping the main theme. We want to do things today in order to increase team engagement, accountability, and cross the department collaboration. Remember, all the work, if you're on the district level, for whatever reason, attendance seems to fall on services. And I began to see it more in PEAMS, but attendance should be in academics. Attendance should be in communication, all the things. Same thing with the schools. It should not just rest upon the truancy clerk or the truancy officer. Anybody who has direct communication or interaction with students, guess what? The work of increasing attendance is their business. People are asking, okay, why are we doing this? Why do I have to really take about an hour of my time once a week from now until the end of the school year to talk about this? The reason why is because attendance is the foundation that drives every priority in your district or campus improvement plan. I don't care what goal is there. I don't care what's in the strategic plan. Attendance, it's not going to happen at the rate that you would like if the kids are not in school. So you're like, okay, Sharon, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about, okay, literacy. If you look in your district or campus improvement plan, everybody has one. What if it is improving literacy? When you are having conversations with other people in your district or your campus, and I'm telling you right now, it's hard to get off the island. It's hard because they're like, well, Sharon, attendance, that's your thing. You said, okay, you're concerned about literacy, right? You're concerned about reading scores. Literacy is built through the consistent exposure and practice of guided reading, phonics, vocabulary, comprehension instruction, and so much more. In order to have that consistent exposure and practice, kids have to come to school consistently on a regular basis. But what if they say, okay, Sharon, but in our district improvement plan, it's about math. We got to get these math skills up and these math scores up. Math is cumulative. Trust me. What this right here, miss one concept and the next concept becomes harder for chronically absent kids, not just for chronically absent kids, all kids. I was a great math kid. Like math was my favorite subject from elementary to 8th grade. And in 9th grade, crazy as it sounds, I wasn't chronically absent in 9th grade. My teacher was chronically absent. And we would go to school. He'll be in school for 3 days, and then 2 days he missed this week. One day he'll miss the next week, and so forth. And I had all kind of holes in my math skills and background. So when I went to Algebra 2, I was completely clueless, and I struggled through the rest of that. And our kids would be the same way if they are chronically absent. So yes, you want those math scores up? Please get the kids to school. We don't have to talk about this. State test scores. So there were some people from Montana, some people that were from Indianapolis. Most of the people are here from Texas. In Texas, we have the STAR. But wherever you're from, increased attendance ensures exposure to that instruction and the tested standards. We can have all these instructional programs and learn all these instructional strategies and things like that. But if the kids are not in school to get all of that goodness, then those state scores will struggle. For so long, I was trying to get principals on board in order to prioritize attendance, because we know when the leadership says, hey, this is what we're going to focus on, this is how we're going to do things, you get more buy-in from everyone else in that building. It wasn't until I took a list of kids, of all the kids who were chronically absent, and their STAR scores through EOC or through grades 3 through 8 and things like that, and then the kids who came to school on a regular basis and their STAR scores. Kids who were chronically absent were 2 to 3 times likely to fail STAR. No special mediation or anything like that. These kids who came to school on a regular basis, just because they had the face in the place, they were more likely to pass that. So if that is in your improvement plan, let's get the kids to school. Improving graduation rates. This is always in a district improvement plan, because we're able to see kind of like the fruit of our labor. So the more kids we get across the graduation stage, then the better. And of course, that goes into our district and school ratings. Research, you can quote me on this. Attendance is one of the strongest predictors of graduation. A kid comes to school on a regular basis from kindergarten to high school or to 12th grade, they're more likely to graduate. But check this out. The kids who are chronically absent, they are 4 times, I think it's like 1 in 4 of all kids who are chronically absent will drop out. What? Huh? I think I should have quoted this through ASSAA.org. There was an article. They were in collaboration with another entity. Hopefully I'll pull it up before we're done. That hit me like a ton of bricks. So want to get graduation rates up? Let's get the kids to school. And then also, let me go back. Improving school safety. Safety has become more and more of a priority. You know, it hurts every single time. You'll never get numb to school shooting situations that take. My kids go to school in Oklahoma, and I just saw on the news, we pass Pauls Valley all the time coming from Norman, and there was a principal who, the guy came in with a gun, and he just had to subdue him, and it was scary. I'm glad he did it. He saved lives. But we have to be even more proactive. These things I wonder, was that kid connected? Because the person that came in was a former student with the gun. Was he connected to staff at that school? Was he connected to students? Was he a victim of bullying? What was it? Was he connected to a school activity like band or anime club? Or did he have that sense of connectedness? So when kids come to school on a regular basis, where that gives opportunity to be intentional in order to build those relationships. Improving teacher retention. Lots of teachers are making a pivot. Lots of teachers are not just changing careers, some are just changing to another school or to another district. And if we put in all these different resources and we invest in them, we don't want to lose our teachers, especially the ones that we know are amazing. But when students show up and ready for school and ready to learn, it reduces that educator frustration of having to constantly reteach. Just constant. Oh, okay. This group of students, okay, I'm gonna have to teach again. Okay, oh my gosh, I still have to focus on the kids who are here. Teachers want to experience the impact of that word. That fuels that retention. And then CCMR, college career readiness. Consistent attendance mirrors the expectations of the workplace, of college, of the military. So we just want to build our kids up so they can be successful, yeah, with us while we're in school and beyond. So I want you to take a moment. All district improvement plans are public record. I want you to look on your district website. I hope you're able to get a tab, another tab open or something like that. And I want you to look for your district improvement plan. I don't know if you're on your district website and put in strategic plan or district improvement plan. I'm going to give you a moment to look that up. And once you do that, I want you in the chat to tell me, did we hit on some things that's in your district improvement plan? And then if not, what are some things we didn't hit on? Someone just recently texted me and said, parent engagement. We got to increase parent engagement. That's part of our district improvement plan. Okay. Same thing. No matter what it is, attendance is the foundation in order to get us there. And if you're unable to find it, you don't necessarily need it for the rest of the work. But I do, like several times we are working and we want to be able to, because alignment is key. Being able to align the work of attendance to other priorities within the district, that is going to help you get the buy-in. That is going to help you get the resources. That may even help you get the funding that you need in order to support your work. Did you know that if attendance or addressing chronic absenteeism, if it is in your district improvement plan, that you can use compensatory funds in order to fund the work? Did you know that? So this is very timely because even if one of the reasons why I want you to look at the district improvement plan is because number one, if you have that district improvement plan within your district that they're saying this is the district improvement plan for the next 2 or 3 years, you can align attendance to the priorities that are already there. If you do a district improvement plan every year, typically that work is being done now or during the beginning of the summer, then guess what? You can have the conversations to put it in there because compensatory funds, right now, if we can utilize funds to help, because a lot of people think that in order to get kids to come to school, that's a free initiative. No, it takes money, just like it takes money in academics. It takes money in communications. It takes money in order to do the work and to do the work well. Oh, I got some goodness in the chat. Let me see. All right, literacy, parent engagement, state test improvement. Yes, all aligned to attendance. Focusing on equitable, high quality education through the 4 pillars. Yes, teaching and learning, school culture, efficiency. Yes, key goals. Oh, reducing chronic absence. So it's explicitly written. Is it Marissa in your district improvement plan? That's awesome. All right. Data points, student safety, attendance is also monitored. Okay. I see in strategic action two, yes, increasing attendance. I am loving the fact that increasing school attendance is getting in these district improvement plans. Kathleen, since it's in your district improvement plan, don't be afraid to have the conversations about funding and money, because it is definitely going to have, you may not need as much, but we need it. All right, keep that party going, because I love the fact that it's in the district improvement plan. So student attendance is the collective responsibility. Who owns this? And at the end of the day, everybody needs to own a portion of this. Now, leading it is one thing, but actually taking the ownership of it is imperative. So building fun. Now here we hear. Okay, first 30 minutes, we talked about all the things, the why, the connection to the district improvement plan, the alignment, and so forth like that. But you didn't come for all of that. You came for building these functional teams and forming these supportive relationships, because guys, that is going to be the heart of the work. So I want you to, this is the time we're going to go into the guide. And on page 3, anytime you work together with anybody, you just can't just dive in and start working. You got to have norms, develop agreements. And I love they use the term touchstones, right? Because if this is collective work, we have to center ourselves. We talked about the why, but how do we center ourselves around the mission? This is what they're saying here. Sometimes norms can feel more like rules to be enforced rather than touchstones that we are individually and jointly responsible for. Again, how do we assume this responsibility? So when you get on page 3, I didn't put them in a slide, but there are 10 touchstones. And I would love for you to take a moment to read them and let me know which one kind of speaks to you. Like, number 1, we share a none of us is as good as all of us mentality. Number 2, we shift roles between learner and expert at any given moment. Like, no one emerges themselves as know it all, right? We're learning from one another and teaching one another. I love that. Number 3, we prioritize active enrollment because others are relying on our voices, participation, and perspectives. Are you just a warm body? Are you just coming to the table because they told you need to be on the committee? All right, we use a variety of data sources to inform our direction. We keep our own egos and biases and assumptions in check. Hello. We follow a plan, but remain open to discovering novel solutions along the way. We talk about innovation. I love when we get in meetings and people say, "What, we've always done it this way." And someone says, "Hold up, just because we've always done it doesn't mean that it's right. Or because we've always done it doesn't mean that it's been effective." We are committed to bettering our systems from the inside out. 8, we take an asset based approach to discussing students, families, staff, and the communities we serve. Now, I hear sometimes, "Oh my gosh, these parents just don't care." These different assumptions. Sometimes parents just don't know how to care. We practice compassion and kindness with one another and ourselves. And the last one, we show up, we serve, we persist. So, in the chat, which one of these, give me one that speaks to you. I know there may be several, but one that speaks to you. I love all of them, but for me, it's hard between number 2 and number 9. But the fact that we practice compassion and kindness with one another and ourselves. Compassion is empathy plus action. So it's not just saying, "Oh, I feel sorry for him, oh, poor thing," but what are we going to do about it? Okay, number 10 was hot. We show up, we serve, we persist. Okay, there are people say number one, we share a none of us is as good as all of us mentality. I like that. Number four, I see we use a variety of data sources to inform our decision. Okay. Someone said number six. Let's see what it says. We follow a plan, but remain open to discovering novel solutions along the way. I like that because we can have an agenda, we can have a framework, but if the conversation takes us somewhere else, or if the data takes us to another place, let's go there. Let's not be afraid to go there. I like that. Good. I'm seeing, did I miss any? Let me see it. Number three, we prioritize active involvement because others are relying on our voices, participation, and perceptions. Love it. Question: what is one that we're probably missing? Which one would you add? Is there one that, as you have worked with other groups or the committees, and you say, you know what, this needs to be a touchstone too? Take a minute. Let's see. All right, I don't have any. That's all right. Going on. Hold on. There we go. All right. So we already talked about which one you would add. So now it's time to refer to the templates. So again, you have the QR code that will take you to the templates. All right, you may see your own, but this is make it a little bigger. All right, so when you have a team, right, roles can get very blurry. But what I love about this template is that it kind of lets you know, kind of, okay, gets you in the mind of who needs to be at the table, but in four quadrants, right? So the first one is leaders. These are your initiators, your designers, okay? They zero in on the why and the what. These are your big thinkers. They align staff and goals and the vision and the mission. They inspire motivation, uplift morale. They establish expected outcomes and offer long-term perspectives. Like, they are committed to the work, and they mediate external circumstances that may hinder implementation efforts. This person has to, or people have to be at the table. So I'm going to do it two ways. If you are, if this is a district task force or attendance group, this has to be a cabinet level person. This has to be a person that has some decision making power. It doesn't make sense for you guys to get together and have these rich conversations if someone can't take it back to the cabinet, or someone can't say, you know what, we can do that. You know what, we can fund that. All right. Um, if this is a campus one, this has to be a principal, or some districts, some campuses have an associate principal where they're not the principal, but they're the principal designee that can also make these decisions. Again, decision makers, visionaries, big thinkers. I want you to start thinking about that. We're going to go into the other template, but just write a note, stick a pen in it. The next one is the implementers. These are the people who carry through the plan. I always say these are kind of like the doers. They roll their sleeves up and they're like, all right, this is how we're going to do this. I got the what, I got the why. Now I got to quarterback this thing. So they tackle the how the implementation plan by breaking it down into different goals and steps. They strategically organize and assign and coordinate the workflow. They orchestrate the short-term objectives. Now, keep in mind that that leader has that big picture thinking, long-term, perspective. This person, okay, we're going to do this first in order to get here, to keep us on track for the big picture, right? And then this is the person that's going to address internal issues to enhance productivity, and efficiency. Let me break this down. You see over for the leaders, it said to mediate external circumstances. There's some people that got a little weight, that they probably been in the district for a long period of time. They've been dying on some heels, and they're like, you know what, nope, we hadn't done this. What is this? We've never done this. You can have the leader to kind of massage that particular person, or neutralize that type of person, so it doesn't hinder the progress of the work. Whereas for your implementers, you have, maybe that teacher, or maybe someone that was like, "Oh, here we go, something new again. Oh, y'all just wait it out. They're going to change it in a couple years." Don't it? This is that person to address internal issues that, in order to enhance productivity and efficiency and ensure high quality deliverables and outcomes. This is your, like I said, maybe even your team leads, maybe your AP, maybe your counselors, okay, that can do this. All right, let's go on down a little bit to the recipients. This is who we do it for. This is the intended audience, or the attendance plan, like participating in pilots, and prototypes. They are your champions. You know what? I'll try it first. And if we make it work here, then we can work out the kinks, and then we can, work on it on a greater scale. They provide feedback as to how things are going. They share the problems and issues. Because in your mind, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I used to be that person. This is great, right? We can do this. And they're like, well, hold on. Maybe in your world, on your level, this is great. But what this looks like, touching the people that it's meant to touch. Benefit from the plan, tangible and concrete ways, sharing ideas, right? So these are your students. These are like your families, maybe even community members, right? Yeah. And then you have your contributors. And these are the people who are involved in sustaining the attendance plan for long-term success. Boots on the ground. Your teachers, your academic specialists, your, all staff, period. District staff, no matter what the role is, campus staff, no matter what the role is, because these people have a high level knowledge of, the intentions and they know that kids coming to school on a regular basis increase literacy, increase math, increase all that. They know this. You ain't got to tell them that. Okay. But the thing is, okay, they're like, okay, but how are we going to get them to school? So they connect the organizational efforts to be a part of play, and we want them to publicly champion this, and of course address resources. Now, what I would like for you to do is take a moment and just put one or two people who will be your leaders. Whether, like I say, you're coming to this from a district standpoint or a campus standpoint. Who would be that person that got decision-making power, or is adjacent, really close, like all it takes is a phone call? Who has that big vision to say, you know what, getting kids to school is not a one-year thing. This is something that we're going to have to work at for a while. Who's always been that visionary, who was always like just ahead of everybody else in their thinking? And then let's take it a step further. What you want them to do? You can put one or two things. They will what? They include, and they will what? I can tell you right now. I had a big initiative going on, that I was passionate about. And I knew everybody was on board, and that was supporting social emotional health of students several years ago. And you know what I wanted them to do? One word: attend. I need you to be there. Because if you have that cabinet level person, if that's there, number one, other people are going to be there. And because they're there, it communicates to other that, ooh, this is important. because he's here or she's in the room. I want you to go over to implementers. Who are these people? Who's going to quarterback this thing? Well, it's basketball season right now. So who's going to be that point guard? All right. They include who? If you're on a district level, this may be your directors. And again, what do you want them to do? Now you can just like start with one. Oh, okay. Let's put this in the chat. That's right. You don't have to put it in your template. You know, I love a hopping chat. All right, Chanel, let's see. Yeah, District of Attendance and Truancy Compliance Officers. Brenda, what's a DPP? If you don't mind, I don't know. Who's the implementer? Is it a on the campus? Is it a AP? Is it a who is it? Oh, District of Pupil Personnel. Thank you. All right. And as you're beginning to see, guys, that the roles, the names of the roles are a little different, but the responsibilities, are the same. It's just named a little differently. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit to the recipients. Who's the intended audience? That the plan is meant to impact. Who are we trying to impact? You can put it in the chat or you can put it on your template. We already started. A lot of it is for the students. When we go into education, it is everything is student centered. But who else? Okay, executive principals. Okay, I saw that at school level leads. Yeah. All right, students and families. Oh my gosh, I love it. If Okay, Antoinette, you said chief of PR. Let's go back to implementers. Is that the chief of public relations, like communications? I believe that that person is essential for this work. If we say that the work of increasing school attendance is everybody's business, we this has to be through the mouth of the district PR people, not just the principal or one particular person. Oh, someone said the recipients being the teachers. Yep, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Them as recipients. That's true. All right. And what do we want them to do? We want our recipients, number one, to give us some honest feedback. When I was a principal guy, I loved a focus group. I would get a student focus group together, a parent focus group together. I needed to hear from the people. I was a PTA parent. I love PTA, but I wanted to hear from more than just PTA parents. Okay. So get your focus group together, whether it's virtual or some people get information from principal coffees, and some people throw a survey out there in a minute. People, a Google form, but get the honest feedback, not what we want to hear. And then also contributors. These are the other people involved, like, campus staff, task force members. And what do we want them to do? Number one, we want them, if you're contributing, we want you to be engaged. You have to be engaged in order for this to work. All right. Awesome. All right. We're going to keep it moving because I know that our time is winding down. And thank you for staying here with me. All right. So with these roles, right? This just talks about, kind of breaks it down even more. Your designers, we talk about the decision makers, the project manager, the monitors, who's monitoring the impact of the work, the evaluators, okay, the troubleshooters. All of these are very important. Everybody can't be the quarterback. But I used to work with an amazing team. And I always say, they say, well, we're so different. I said, I was told by my mentor, you hire what you don't have. If I have a great designer, guess what? I need a great evaluator. I need a great, something else. So make sure that your the people that you bring in, you don't want to bring in a whole lot of people who are just like you. Okay, because guess what, your work is going to be stagnant. You want different people with different perspectives and different talents and strengths. So now we shift into the foundational work. So you're like, okay, I didn't brought these people together, I know who I'm bringing, now what? Just like we talked about in the very beginning, why we exist, why we're going to come, once a week for the next 6 weeks, you have to do the same. So they have to know the why. So and they have to know the goal. And guys, please don't come up with 100, from Mississippi. Don't come with 50, 11 goals. Come with one goal. If your attendance goal is to go from 94% to 96%, okay, that is the overall goal. What is the one overarching goal? And then, of course, what are those expectations? There has to be a flexible decision making process. And what we mean by that, can everyone bring in a suggestion? And once people bring in a suggestion, once we've discussed it or so forth, how is the decision being made? Or is it funneling and kind of getting through this little, chokehold right now, and it just sits? Because in this way, it cannot sit. You have to keep it going. So if we're meeting this week and we discuss something and we want to roll it up the chain or give it to present it to the principal or present it to that cabinet member, and that cabinet member say, okay, we meet for cabinet on Monday. On the next time we meet next Thursday or 2 weeks from now, I'll have an answer for you. Let's communicate openly and frequently. The communication can't just be in the meeting. So whether you have a Teams chat, whether you have a email chain or whatever, when it comes up, how can we continue to keep the conversation going? And then managing issues professionally and promptly. This is a tough conversation. So guess what? There may be some issues that pop up. Who's going to manage that and in what way? And making sure that everybody do their individual part. So let's keep moving. All right, so right here, the next template, this is 1.2. This is not for you to fill out now. I would love for us to, kind of, I don't want to quote unquote give you homework, but as you think about this after our time today, you may write a line or two, just nothing long and drawn out with this. Like, this is just kind of bringing everything together as we've talked about. Number one, what's your team purpose? What's the why? The decision making structure. Hey, everyone's gonna, we're gonna talk about this, but whatever we talk about, we by the next session, we want to be able to have, to take this to the next level or to be able to get an answer. Whatever that structure is, you guys can decide that. The touch points. What are some of you guys have some non-negotiables? Many of you like number 10 with the touch points. Maybe you may have your own touch points, but being clear. One thing about the touch points, we're being open as to how we're going to treat one another when we're together, and to explicitly say that and not assume that everybody knows how they want to be treated. And then again, what's the goal? What are the outcomes? I think it's very important for you to look at that district improvement plan and make sure there's some alignment there. And once and remember, and here's the thing, I'll put my email address in here in a second to say, okay, Sharon, this is in our district improvement plan. But can I be a thought partner with you as to how I can align attendance, the goal of attendance with this? Please let me know. Member contributions, you add that. In the term of service, this is key. There are some task force that are for 2 years. I've been on some task force for 3 years. You may want this to be a year-to-year thing. What is that term of service? Okay, let's keep it moving. I like this. This was something that is like your team functions flow chart. And if you're in the book, it's page 8. If you're in the templates, you'll definitely see it. But this is if you're on a campus or not. So he said, imagine that a site attendance team at a continuation high school has discovered primary reasons why kids are missing school, right? They decide to allocate part of a campus wing to establish a wellness center. This is the group has gotten together and say, hey, we see what the root cause is for several of the reasons why kids are not coming to school. This is our innovative solution. Your innovative solution may not be this wide. I always say if you have the money in your district, it will be great to invest in a student wellness center or a clinic or things like that, because the school is the community and there are so many families who do not have health care. And if they're able to receive some type of health care or wellness support in the community school, man, I think that would definitely make a difference. So they say, you know what? We want this wellness center. So this is their flow chart, right? You remember we were looking at the troubleshooters and everything. So the leader, they said, and since this is campus, the leader is the campus principal. Why? Because the principal has decision making power. The designers, these are kind of okay. I'm bringing in other people in order to help like sketch this thing, build this thing. The decision makers, they had to bring in the money man or the money person, the CFO, or it could be a board member, it could be a variety of different things. The project manager, hey, director of student services, never underestimate the power of a director of student services. The implementers, the district health person or the school nurse, contributors, teachers, troubleshooters, district maintenance or operations, recipients. Remember, who are we here to serve? Who are we here to impact? The students, the parents, the caregivers, the progress monitor, the principal do so, and the evaluators, the accountability department. So we just want you to see, as you can see, we're giving some examples, but we also want you to kind of think through it yourself. So here is a blank one. And just be not necessarily be prepared to discuss, but I would love to kind of see what you guys come up with when we get back together next week, because what we're going to do, we're going to kind of review a few of the things we discussed today in order to right before we dive into our session 2, which is really good. And the last thing, I know it's 1:00. I'm gonna run through this really, really fast. The last thing is making meetings meaningful. Please don't meet just for the sake of meeting. Team meetings can, some people say, well, you could have sent me an email for that. But we want to be very intentional here. We have a very purposeful design that we are creating together with very clear intentions, with very clear alignment, and we want people to be interested in being a part of this. Again, why are we meeting? Who else needs to be a part of this that we're meeting? What's the preparation like for your particular role? What do you need to bring to the meeting, or what do you need to know, or what tool do you need to have, whether it's data reports, what is it, so that we can effectively discuss and do the work that we need to do. We know the importance of making sure that each person has a role. Get that feedback from our recipients. I think that should be a constant piece coming through. Yeah, we're meeting, but what are the people that we are actually intending to make this impact? What are they saying? What are they doing? What sometimes we ask kids, what would get you excited to come to school each day? Some of the kids say, well, nobody ever asked me that. How much time should be set aside for these meetings? I think respecting the time is key. Look, here I am. I'm already 2 minutes over talking about respecting time, but we got to respect one another's time. And then staying focused on the outcomes and the action steps. So, with that being said, um, we have a lot of good work to do. And, why we're doing this is because chronic absenteeism impacts everything, and it is that financial stabilizer. Rob, we've helped so many districts recoup so much money, and these dollar amounts are very, very conservative. So if your district's looking for money, those are the things. And you remember we were talking about those who have the big visions, and then the implementers, the how, the people who are like, okay, how are we going to do this? We have a whole library of little short 2-minute videos on how to implement different attendance interventions and things like that. So that is free. It's called Quick Wins for Attendance. Please do so. Our next session will be next Tuesday. It's agreeing upon the destination. We're going to strategically connect those goals to the plans and the funding priorities and the accountability measures. We are getting deep in order to get this leadership buy-in. I'm really, really excited about it. Let me put my email address. Well, you know what? It's at the very end. I do have email me. And, if we want to continue the conversation, but what I would love, if you would love to hear more about, our attendance intervention management program, if you would like to hear more about, say like, oh my gosh, attendance is in our district improvement plans. We have compulsory education funds that we can utilize. Would love to do a demo with you to let you know what this platform looks like and what it can do for your increased attendance rates and more access to the funds that we need to fund all your initiatives. This is my email address, sharon.bradley@rawek12.com. Thank you so very much for thumbing through our definitive guide and for the first session of our strategic planning session. Please tell a friend. We'd love to have more and more people on the line next week. I'll be here. See you next week, same time. Be well.
Can I do one real quick?
Oh, yes, Jen.
So 2 things. CEUs are available for your attendance here. And if you would like a certificate, we're going to give them out at the end of the series, and you'll get the number of minutes that you spent throughout the 6 series on one certificate. Okay? If you need it sooner, then you can absolutely email Sharon. She will make sure that I get it, and we will get you a certificate. Some people need it before a certain time close to the end of the year. So we will absolutely respect that. The last thing I'll say, at the end of the series is when we're going to give away our gift certificates that come with our events. So please, we look forward to seeing you. And the last one in the series is when you're going to have a chance at the money.
And guys, if you don't know about that, they're $50 gift cards, Amazon gift cards, and we are famous for them. Like people see me at a conference. Do you have some of those? You got to attend our sessions. But those CEUs, I remember towards the end, I'm like, oh my goodness. Because remember, for your evaluations and everything at the end of the year, and it seems like these are district and campus leaders, by June, and no, here in Texas, we have to be able to, so you get 6 hours. So that would be great. And depend on how long some of our other sessions, we could have more. So you can get your CEUs. Thank you. If you need anything else, here's my email address. And let me know if you would love a demo. I would love to be able to go over it with you. Be well. Take care.